Hey everyone, this is Metalhead Nation 1021, and today I wanted to do a video on my top 5 favorite brutal death metal / slam vocalists. There's always new vocalists that I'm finding in new bands that have vocals I really like, and I'm probably on this list going to be missing some that I actually prefer over some of the vocalists listed here, but at the moment, these are the top 5 that I can think of, and number 1, I'm not going to say who it is yet, but that's probably going to be my favorite vocalist for a very long time. I just want to get that out of the way. This is my opinion. This is not rules you have to follow, and these are just ones that I prefer the most at the moment. And I'm going to be talking about slam and brutal death metal, but some of these might fall into other genres, and for the most part I'm going to try to avoid gore grinding, gore noise, and deathcore. But there might be a few exceptions, or some of these vocalists might also lean into one of those genres. Okay, so for number 5, I chose Wayne Knupp and Ruben Rosas. I believe that's how you pronounce their names. Formerly and currently, respectively, of the band Devourment from Texas. The first slam band in many people's eyes. Arguably Internal Bleeding came first, but in my opinion, Devourment perfected the sound. Both of these vocalists are pretty much known as the most popular, or usually deemed the best vocalists of the band Devourment. Wayne Knupp, he was the original, I believe, or at least came before Ruben did. Again, I might be pronouncing these names wrong, but Wayne is known for having a little more of a powerful and lower guttural vocal style, and also he was featured on the now extremely popular 138 album with the song Baby Killer. Again, his vocals are just so unique for that early slam sound, and he's probably the vocalist that everybody out there tries to get the same sound as. It's just amazing vocals. And with Ruben, again, he's the vocalist now, I believe. He played guitar. He's extremely talented. I really like his vocals too. He did the vocals on the Molesting the Decapitated album. Amazing. Probably my favorite Devourment album, and one of my favorite brutal death metal / slam albums of all time. He is insanely talented, and his vocals on that album alone would place him onto this list. Again, both are extremely talented and amazing vocalists, so I tied them at the number 5 spot. Number 4, and this is probably a controversial one. I chose pretty much every vocalist that's ever been in the band Last Days of Humanity, and I know that there are a lot of gore grind or gore noise bands out there that, in my opinion at least, have better vocals, but I believe that this one's popular enough to where I won't get too much flack in the comments for it. And to state now, before I delve into this, I know that the vocals are pitch shifted, but I believe that the band as a whole kind of innovated that sound, and I personally really enjoy it. I know a lot of people watching the video might not, but this is just my opinion. To list a few of the vocalists, I had to make a list, and again, I'm probably going to pronounce a lot of these wrong. Mark Palman, Hans Smits, and Erwin D. Groot. Probably got those wrong, as well as a few others, but these are the ones that were listed on the albums that I liked the most. My favorite section of the band's history would probably be from about 2000, 2006, before they broke up. And I haven't heard a lot of their new stuff since they reformed in 2010, but the vocals that I've heard here I really enjoy, and I definitely like the style they went for. It's very unique, or at least it was at the time that they formed. And again, this, like it was for number 5, this is probably the sound that every gore noise or gore grind band tries to imitate. Or I shouldn't generalize, a lot of bands do, but there are probably even more out there that are making their own innovations. But definitely very popular in that subgenre. And so all the vocalists of Last Days of Humanity are on this list, and I like them all, and it's hard to distinguish which one's which because they've released so much music, and also it's really hard to find any information on this band anywhere. It's crazy, but I love the band and I love the vocals, so that's why they're at number 4. Number 3, and this is probably one that not a lot of people have heard of. The person's name is listed as Fabio K from the band Animalistic, which I'm probably pronouncing wrong again. One of my favorite slam, I guess you call them slam bands, definitely brutal death metal, kind of leaning more towards a gore noise, gore grind sound, with a little more slam-oriented riffing, I guess, and not really chaotic enough to be gore noise. The vocals are pretty consistent in a way, like it doesn't change a lot, but it's the sound that really is unique and really puts him at number 3 on the list, because they're such a low and like disgusting guttural. I honestly cannot get enough of it. And when I listened to the one album they released in 2016, I believe it was called Human Decimation, the vocals on that are incredible, and maybe it's just because it blends so well with the music being played, like the awesome drums and the super brutal riffs, but those vocals are just amazing, and they always make me like want to go back to that album over and over again. And so he's one of my favorite vocalists just for that album, and I don't know if he's actually done any other work in any other bands. And sadly, according to the Metallum page, he's not in the band anymore, so hopefully he works on new projects. I don't know a lot about him, but the vocals in that band in particular just blow me away. Number 2, another controversial pick, Dickie Allen of Infant Annihilator and guest work, etc. For me, the reason that he's on this list is because of the insane diversity he has in his vocals. And I know he's mostly in deathcore or slam deathcore, whatever you want to consider them bands, but it's such a unique style and such a diverse range of sounds and noises that he can make with the really low guttural vocals, as well as some of these highs that kind of imitate cattle decapitation in a way, but with their own unique twist. I mean, he as a vocalist is probably one of the most well-known in the heavier side of metal right now, just for like all the songs and bands that he's worked with, as well as Infant Annihilator. Everybody knows who they are. Just amazing vocalist, and a great pick for that band in my opinion. It definitely fits with their chaotic sound and crazy fast pace. And he also, I'd like to bring up, has one of the fastest deliveries in the entire scene that I know of right now. On some of the passages on the Elysian Grandville Galiliarch, which is the 2016 Infant Annihilator album, I mean, the speed at which he's able to deliver each word and enunciate each word is insane, and it's something I've never seen done at that level before. So I had to put him on the list. And he's also the singer that inspired me to really get into the lower underground of death metal, brutal death metal, and metal in general. And he also inspired me to kind of try gutturals, which didn't go too well. But yeah, so number 2 on my list. And for number 1, I want to state something before I get into this number, is that if you had asked me about 2 or 3 months ago who would have been my number 1 pick, I probably would have told you Dickie Allen, who's number 2. But recently, I've listened to more and more of this person's music, and I've developed more of a appreciation, I should say, for his work. And I guess I'll just jump into it right now. Number 1 is James Schuester from mainly the band Delusional Parasitosis, as well as guest work on quite a couple other bands and albums. And I mean, just right off the bat, there's nobody in the scene that I've heard of or have seen at the moment that can compare to the diversity of guttural lows and different sounds, except for maybe Dickie Allen. But the difference between the two vocalists, in my opinion, is that James has done so much guest work on bands that I prefer a little bit more than the ones that Dickie Allen has worked with. And also, I believe the techniques implemented by James are a lot more brutal. Or I shouldn't say a lot, but marginally more brutal than Dickie Allen's. And an example of this would be like the Predator shrills or shrieks, whatever they're called, that James does on Delusional Parasitosis work. particularly on the first song of the split that they did with Ecchymosis, Dissevered, and Bleeding. I mean, it is insane, and it's something that I've tried to imitate many times before, but I can't get the sound right, even though he's done a YouTube video on it. His vocals are insane in every band that he's been in and is worked with, and I'm pretty sure he started it around 16 or 17. He has been working on it forever. He has mastered it, and at the moment, he's my favorite brutal death metal / slam vocalist. And until I find a vocalist that can compare to his diversity and overall brutal sound, I probably will never have another favorite vocalist. He's been cemented as my #1 favorite vocalist in this genre of music. And that's about it. I really have nothing else to say about this topic except for, I mean, go check all these people out. Crazy, crazy vocalists. Definitely appreciate all the attention that they'll get. And I believe that some of them are extremely underrated and deserve more attention from the metal community. So yeah, that's my list on the top 5 brutal death metal / slam vocalists. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.